Hey everybody, Mrs. Bianchi. We're looking at number 1 on the L13 called equivalent ratios. And the problem with this is the images are a little small. So I thought what would be a good idea is let's look at it a little bit larger. So here it is, the same graphics shown in a larger setting. But what do they want us to do? They want us to select the 3 methods that show a ratio of 1 to 5. So let's look at choice A and decide if we were to simplify all of these, would this be a 1 to 5 ratio? So let's divide both of these by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that shows a 1 to 5 ratio. But for us to pick that, we have to be able to say that for all the values in the table. These are both divisible by 4. If we do 4 divided by 4, we get 1. And if we do 20 divided by 4, we get 5. So far it's looking good. Let's make sure it works for the last one. These are both divisible by 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 50 divided by 10 is 5. So they all show that 1 to 5 ratio. So that's one of the 3 that we're going to pick. All right, let's look at choice B. We have to figure out what the ordered pairs are for each of the dots that they have listed. So I always recommend making some sort of a data table. I'm going to recommend we do it like this. Let's put the x value over here and a y value over here. All right, so that first dot, this point right here, is over 1 on the x-axis, and it's up 5 on the y-axis. All right, so far that looks like a 1 to 5 ratio, but let's look at the next point right here. We go over 10 and up 10. So that's over 10, see right here's 10, and up 10. And then this last dot is over 15 and up 15. All right, now this first dot, that does show a 1 to 5 ratio, but what about these? If we simplify that, that's not a 1 to 5 ratio, right? The 10 to 10 or the 15 to 15. So it looks like we're not going to pick B. But let's look at choice C, because that's the same kind of thing. What I'm recommending is let's make a data table or a T table, sometimes I call that. And let's actually plot like maybe this point, or I should say put in the table, this point, and maybe even this one. So this point right here, the one that my pen is on, that's over 1, up 5. So far that's looking good. This is over 2, up 10. Over 3, up 15. And over 4, up 20. Now, if we simplify, so this one looks good, right? That's a 1 to 5 ratio. If we simplify this next one, would that also be a 1 to 5? If we divided both of these by 2, isn't 2 divided by 2 1, and isn't 10 divided by 2 5? So that would also be a 1 to 5 ratio. If we divided these by 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So that's a 1 to 5 ratio. Ask yourself if that's true for the last point. And if it is, that looks like one of the 3 that you will pick. All right, let's move on to choice D. So everything looks good right here with this first one, right? That's a 1 to 5 ratio. But if we look at the next one, let's make sure it's the same thing. Is 3 to 15, does that simplify to be a 1 to 5? Does 5 over 25 simplify to be 1 to 25? 1 to 5. And does that happen here? So if you're saying that's a yes for all 4 of the values on this double line graph, then that could be a contender as well as one of the 3 that you're going to pick. All right, now what about E? Let's look at the first values. So far that one looks good, right? That's a 1 to 5 ratio. But is this a 1 to 5 ratio? If I simplify that, can I even simplify that? And if I did cross products, like let's say I did this times this, that's 25. Is 5 times 1 also 25? It's not. So that looks like because of the second value and the third value, that one is going to be a no. All right, so let's review. You need to choose 3. So ask yourself, for B, we plotted the points, or I should say we put the points in this T table. Ask yourself which ones are a yes, which ones are a no, and make sure you get all 3.